Hey guys, Neeb here. There have been a lot of new releases coming out of the Middle East, and it's hard for me to keep up, let alone you guys. Lattafa, Fragrance World, Haramain, I mean, there's so many new brands coming. How do you even pick which brand to look at, which fragrance to look at? What is it even cloning? Am I just gonna buy two of the same fragrances that smell exactly the same? You need a reference and you need a guide. I have a pretty good track record. I'm always giving you guys my objective truth, what I smell, and the latest and newest releases. So today we're gonna be talking about exactly that, from specifically Lattafa. It's gonna be Lattafa's Teriaq Intense and also Brioche Vanille. Let's start off with Brioche Vanille because I have less things to say about it than I do about Teriaq Intense. So first things first, we wanna talk about the notes. I'll be honest with you guys, the notes is sometimes the last thing I look at just because of the fact that, number one, it might not be the actual notes that you guys see. Yes, believe it or not, that's actually a thing. And number two, you wanna be true to what you're smelling, right? Decipher the notes, and oftentimes perfumers will pass on notes or accords they smell rather than the actual notes that they use, and that's only normal, right? So I don't wanna be swayed into what I'm smelling, especially working with these natural ingredients myself. I wanna kinda just see what I smell and go from there. As far as the notes thing, it shouldn't be a surprise. We had a time where we were getting a crap ton of notes, and then all of a sudden we got 3-note breakdowns, and if they were willing or capable of giving us only 3 notes, then what makes you think that they're even real? And second off, what makes you think that they wouldn't give us other notes? So that's always been a thing, and there are some brands that put like 60 notes when really it's just like inspired by something else. Anyways, starting off with Brioche Vanille. Off initial impression with the fragrance, it came off smelling like something that's warm, ambery, and vanillic. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. I had to kind of think to myself of like, am I getting bread? And for most people, it might hit them faster than it did me because I don't really spend too much time eating bread at like Panera, etc. But once I started to think it, I got it. I definitely got that whole being in a bakery vibe in every good way. It doesn't smell like just a loaf of bread to me. It smells like more so benzoin first, so you get like this natural warm tree sap style of DNA with a naturalistic sweetness of vanilla that's not cloying. So don't think like if you eclair or cupcakes, etc. No, it's much milder than that. After I registered that scent and thought, I was able to focus on the next thing that hit me, which was in fact the texture of a fresh loaf of bread. It's very specifically a light style of bread, but for whatever it's worth, it does smell like bread. So all in all, the scent, it has accords. There are the florals, there are a lot of other things as well, but the scent picture and what this is going to smell like is a warm day in the fall or in the winter where you're cozied up, you're bundled up, and you've got something baking in the oven. And although as a scent, as a perfume, as a fragrance, I wouldn't be like, I want to smell like bread. Here, give it to me. I want to get compliments. As an experience, I really appreciated it. It's only right that I give you guys a rating with first experiences of fragrances, obviously. And this one, I don't really know how I feel about. Giving it a rating, that is, because of the fact that it's more so of an experience. If I were to rate it as a fragrance, I'd probably give it like a 7, but as an experience, that's where it starts to climb up the rankings. So if you want to get this for that vibe, it's amazing. I think it's like an 8-7, maybe even a 9, because it's cuddly, it's warm, it's cozy. But if you're trying to get it as a fragrance, that's when it drops to like a 7, because like, I don't want to smell like a loaf of bread. If you do, actually, do I want to smell like a loaf of bread? I don't know, man. I'm gonna leave that up to you. But as a fragrance, about a 7. As an experience, it's like a 9, man. It's pretty photorealistic once you wear it and you rock with it. So next one that got a lot of hype, that's getting a lot of hype, is gonna be Teriaq Intense. Now before I opened the box, I could smell the saffron seeping through the bottle, and pretty excited. I love the note of saffron, and then I sprayed this on. And what I got right away was like, wait a minute, cinnamon, tonka, musk, a little bit of citrus. Am I getting angel share? And absolutely, I was getting angel share. And I was like, am I getting khamra? Except instead of cinnamon, it's saffron. And that's where I was a little bit let down. So off initial impression, I was pretty let down in terms of redundancy. So for the first day I wore this, I was like, man, this smells like angel share with like the addition of saffron and maybe even a little bit of plum. There are quite a few different notes as well included in this, including plum liquor and saffron. I will say that this definitely has that saffron. And I know that Quentin Biche did this, but you guys, I mean, yes, he possibly put this together, but even then, as someone who works with perfumers, etc., they generally give you briefings, right? Like, where do you want to start? What scent profiles are good? And typically speaking, ambers, cinnamon, tonka, anytime you make a blend like that, it's going to be associated with angel share. Just because it's such a very definitive DNA, it's hard to use those 3 notes without it smelling like angel share. So by default, it's going to land like that. However, in my experience, that's kind of how fragrances are built. built. That's kind of how everything in this world are built, right? So Tesla's started as a certain design and they were inspired by the design, and to this day, their current design is inspired by their old design. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And yes, Quentin Biche did put this one together, but it smells inspired by Angel Share, and that's not gonna change it. So in fact, after the first day, I was very moved to wear this one because I didn't feel like it was fair, and I wanted to really give it a proper, wearing. And that's my commitment to you guys as a reviewer and as an honest reviewer, is to give it its full chance until I finally reach the point where I could say, okay, that's what I think it is, and I'm signing it off. So I shared my first impression and I said, this smells 80% close to Angel Share with some saffron, etc. And it kind of left it there, but I wasn't satisfied enough. I still had a hunger to actually wear this one and kind of dissect it. I went to bed while wearing this fragrance and it was extremely strong. It's like I processed it while I was sleeping, because when I woke up, I was like, wait a minute, I know what I'm smelling. And it was something that was much later in the dry down. So this is what ended up happening. When I woke up, I smelled my hand. I smelled, you guys, I showered in this. I literally showered in this. That's how I'd like to test my fragrances. And I was like, why did I wear Baby Cat? Because I'm getting like suede ambers and saffron and something a little sweet and cinnamony. And that's when I realized it was this. So the next day, I made it a priority to rock this fragrance. I sprayed Teriaq Intense all over my right side, and then I sprayed Angel Share all across my left side, but I also topped it off with a little bit of Baby Cat. So what this, at the end of that wearing, reminded me a lot of was about 80, I would say actually 75% Angel Share and 25% Baby Cat. It's not nearly as strong or as ambery in the vanilla. It's not nearly as strong in that suede, but it does have a very similar style of saffron that Baby Cat has. So in the opening is where it's going to be the most detached from both Angel Share and Baby Cat, kind of something unique and nice. And as it starts to dry down within that first 20 minutes, I was like, wow, this is a lot Angel Share and spicy. It's like if Khamra was east and Angel Share was in the center, this is like west. So it's still in the same playing field, except going in a different direction. It's still spicy and, slightly different, but it's not on the realm of, you get the idea, okay? So we get it. Khamra was right there, and that's right there. Anyways, so during this entire experience, I was realizing that it was shifting quite a bit. So I'll give them that. The quality of this was outstanding. At first, I was getting something relatively unique, drying down into something that gets closer to Angel Share. And then as it dried down even more so later on, that's when I was like able to finally pinpoint something of a Baby Cat DNA. So what this reminds me of is going to be 75% Angel Share and 25% of very specifically that saffron and hints of suede. If you spray this, you've got to wear it all the way until the end of day and see your total experience. You will get accords and facets that come from something like Angel Share, and you'll also get similar vibes and accords that you'll get from Baby Cat. A lot closer to Angel Share, obviously, per the percentages that I gave you, than it is to Baby Cat. Not nearly as rich as Baby Cat or Vanillic, but it absolutely has a few of those accords, specifically that saffron and hints and touches of suede as it dries down. So that's what I got with Teriaq. What I will give it credit for as well is the fact that this is much stronger than Angel Share on its own. If I were to put this side by side with Angel Share, it blows Angel Share out of the water. And actually, now that I've sprayed it on and let it sit for 7 days, I think it's been, about a week, I can kind of smell that whole saffron undertone of suede off the atomizer now. Whereas initially I couldn't even spray it, or I couldn't even smell it off the initial, but that makes sense. You shake your bottle around, you spray it, it matures, it also gets richer. So that's what I'm gonna say Teriaq Intense smells like. 75% Angel Share and 25% Baby Cat. It smells fantastic. In a world of so many clones of Angel Share, it can be redundant and it can get redundant, but it's one of the strongest ones. I would classify this more than anything as a twist. Will it remind you of it? Absolutely, about 75%. A great combination that worked. And I was actually pretty shocked at how this layering smelled true to that DNA. I sprayed this on about 3 times on my hand and I layered it with 1 spray of Baby Cat, and that's pretty much what I got. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Teriaq Intense Performance. It lasts to the next day. It's beastly in terms of its projection and performance. It's really up to you whether or not you pick it up. If I had to rate it on its own, which is only fair because of the fact that people are coming into the space and and might not even have heard of Angel Share or Baby Cat, I'd give it like a 9.3 to a 9.4. Its performance is outstanding. The scent profile, it works, it smells fantastic. It might even deserve a little bit more, but maybe with later wearings, it'll be back here. Definitely better than the original Teriaq for sure. Occasions for this, I would say dates, special events. If you want to stand out, this will definitely get you to stand out. With something like Brioche Vanille, occasions like cuddling, Netflix and chill, and warm, cuddly vibes. In terms of the seasons, I would say that these are going to be the best appropriate, especially this fall and winter time only for this one. Now for this one, you could probably even get away with it during the spring and potentially even during the summertime, but I would say don't spray it more than like 3 to 4. Who the am I kidding? I would spray this like 6 times during the summertime. You can wear this all year round, but if you're uncomfortable with rich scent profiles during the summer, just spray it a little bit less. I would personally wear it all year round. I would spray it less during the summer and the springtime. Yes, there are certain appropriate seasons you should wear something depending on its scent profile, but I feel like I, even myself, have fallen victim to the whole only wear it during this. No, man. Would I wear it during the summer and the spring? Yes, I would. I'd just spray it less. And so from here on out, I'm gonna be a little bit more giving because a lot more fragrances work during the spring and summer than I even thought. I wore Baby Cat in the summertime and it worked. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be in the comment section right now just saying, Baby Cat in the summer? Neve is just reckless. Neve doesn't care. Neve needs like, what's the insurance that protects people around me for fragrance? Yes, I get it, but it actually worked, man. I sprayed it on about 6 times during the summertime in Saudi Arabia and I got compliments all day. My name is Neve. Thank you for tuning back in AROMATIX and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.